Hello everyone, my name is Alexey, and today I would like to tell you about localization and formatting numbers in JavaScript, especially if you need to format some amount of money with currencies for different countries with some specific conditions. We will not talk only about currencies, but the main part of video will be about them. Firstly, I need to say that in the modern world, it's common when currencies are displayed with the help of CSS, just adding pseudo element with currencies. Some people write their own converters and mappers, and exists the third approach, usage built-in methods in JavaScript for formatting numbers and currencies, and today I will explain and show it. Basically, I think it's the most right way, and we have to use it inside all interfaces. So I prepared the layout, mini layout, and I will show formatted numbers explicitly in layout, as it will be after using some operations with numbers and locales. Okay, let's start. Okay, let's start with the first number and call method toLocaleString. toLocaleString method we will need to localize our numbers. So toLocaleString can take two parameters. It's locale, explicitly passed locales with string, and options, some options to transform our number. But if we will call toLocaleString without some locale or options, it will format string, format our number to string according to user's browser's locale. And let's talk about how we can take the locale of user's browser. So we can do it with navigator. So we can write navigator language, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, and so now I have engb locale, and we can switch locales in our developer tools inside browser. So I use Chrome, and I can click Command plus Shift plus P, and here will be a command window, and I need to write sensors. Cool. It's sensors console, and I can override my language. So for example, to Tokyo, I can choose Tokyo, and I will refresh the page, and my locale will be changed, so GAGP. And if I will, for example, pick San Francisco, so it will be ENUS. And if you want to return to your locale, you need to choose no override, and you will be switched to your locale. Okay, let's pass a couple of parameters and let's see what will be changed. So as we can see now, we in Great Britain locale, so we can pass DE locale here, and our number will be separated with dots, and by default, for example, for UA locale, it will be separated by commas. And let's go to the options, and as we can see, we can here provide some style. So by default, it's decimal. Yes, nothing was changed, but also we can provide here percentage. So if we will write % here, we will have transformed number in a percent, but by default, by standard, percent provided with 0 dot something. So if we will write % here, it will be displayed correctly, because 0.12 it's like 12%. Yes, and now let's go to the currencies. Cool, and let's move to the currencies. So as we can see, we can provide style currency here, and nothing will be in our interface because we have an error. So currency code is required with currency style, and it's pretty logical. If we want to display currency, we need to provide currency code. So for example, it's USD, and as we can see, for example, in Ukrainian locale, it's necessary to display monetary value in this way. So US, dollar, and number. And also we can pass EN locale here, and it will be just dollar. But in EN GB locale, it will be also US, dollar, and then number. Interesting thing that if we will remove our decimal values, it will be remain because it's as for this country, it's required to display cents even they are 0. And also interesting locale is French, so we can switch to French locale, and as we can see, we have our 1000, and between 1000 and other numbers we can see the space, but for decimals we have a comma as a separator, and then dollar, and then US. And also we can change currency to GBP, and it will be pound. And also for EON locale, it will be other displaying way. So also we can provide some currency like Japanese yen, and for French it will be like a standard. So about standards, you can read in the internet, just for example, make a request to Google about monetary values for some locale or for some country, and you will see the format. Or you can just experiment with locales and method toLocaleString and currencies. Cool, and let's also look at other interesting options of toLocaleString, and let's proceed with French locale and currency Japanese yen. So first is currency display. Currency display, and here will be value name. And as we can see, we have name of currency in French. For example, we can switch to English and it will be in yen, Japanese yen. We also can change currency. For example, British pound, it's GBP, it will be British pounds. And for US dollar, it will be USD, okay, US dollars. And you can display also name of the currency here. And also for big numbers, you can use interesting options such as use grouping. And for default, it's true, and we can provide false here. And for example, use big numbers. And as we can see, we don't have spaces and separators here for big numbers. It may be useful for some cases. And also we can remove it, and we will have separators here. And interesting thing that we can remove, for example, this zeros, for example cents. It can be achieved with minimum fraction digits, and for example it can be 0, so yes. And also for values with decimals, it will be just cut. And if we will try to add decimal more, 5 and more, it will be rounded using mathematical rule. Cool, and I want to show you other interesting method to display numbers and currencies. So I will write to separator here, and it will be object Intl. So we can write new Intl dot number format, and here we can provide the same arguments. So we can just copy it. So for example, locale and other options, and provide here. And as we can see in our interface, we will see object Intl format number, and that's okay. And here we can write format method, and also, for example, pass num3. Cool. And as we can see, we will have the same formatting for our currency. And the main advantage of this method is that we can extract it to a variable and use it in the whole application. So for example, const to Japanese yen, for example, const to Japanese yen, we can extract it. Let's do it. Here will be GPU and fraction digits, for example, 2. And we can write in our interfaces just to GPU and format and pass here num3. Cool. Okay, Japanese yen. And also we can, for example, copy it and pass here, so it will be 2 numbers. Okay, and we can for example, change display currency display here, and remove this property or configure it, and it will be changed in the whole application. So you can write these functions to deal with formatting numbers or currencies in the whole application, and it will be extremely good practice, and it will be extremely good for your project, so it will definitely increase the developer experience. So that's all I wanted to tell you about number formatting and localization, but honestly, it's not all. I would like to advise you to always use Intl object to format numbers and currencies. Literally always. Intl is a built-in and tested JavaScript solution that knows exactly what number or monetary value should look like for any country, and we must use it. In my opinion, writing own mappers to match the design is much more expensive for business, because writing your own functionality is an additional waste of time, tests, and may also not match the generally accepted format in concrete country. If you are told exactly how to format a particular number, try to explain. That will bring high cost for development and testing, and may not combine with generally accepted format. So please look at this object, and you can also experiment with some other options, and these options can be found on MDN. And as you can see here, we have Intl number format constructor, and you can try some options, for example, compact display, currency display, currency sign, local matching, notation. For example, let's try to, for example, use notation and use value scientific. And as we can see, it will be more in scientific way. So you will have an options for every situation in your life, almost every situation. Please use Intl, and as you can see, it's also you can format units, for example, liters, and etc. So please try to investigate some options. Maybe you could try to write own your utility functions for formatting numbers, for example, in your pet project, and it will be amazing practice for your future career. So please like, subscribe, stay tuned. Please follow my Telegram channel in the description, and bye.